Ooh. Hey guys, Mark here. Hold on. Let me adjust the camera just a little bit here. There we go. Ooh, Nelly. Hey guys, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys, let's turn the fire down, for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally doesn't work. We don't want to put Joe Boo too close to the fire here. Oh my goodness. Actually, that's a little too low. Let's get just a little, there we go. Can you feel it? Yes, it's still hot as hell during the day, but you notice how now the nights are getting cooler. It's 90 degrees during the day today. Right now, it's about 70. And I'm sitting on my deck. You can hear the crickets. You hear Mother Nature. You hear my good old frog over there. Well, you do hear the air conditioning on that just kicked on as well. But this, guys, is what I dreamed of. Cowboys on deck. That's right. We're on my deck, and we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And I can't wait till the weather gets just a little bit more crisp. It's a little bit cooler. And we got a game that's on, and I'm just sitting out here smoking a cigar, having a little shot of rum, and watching my Dallas Cowboys. Or having my guys. E2 Blue, Clarence missing in action, DMV Dallas Cowboys, Michael Anthony Fitness, Foots, all the guys here sitting around the fire talking to you guys about America's team. Today was a quiet day for our Cowboys, thank God. They didn't have practice today. Today was an off day. But I got to tell you, when you look around the NFL, when you're seeing players left and right, you know, we know Barkley tweaked his leg yesterday, his hamstring, and didn't practice today. They say, of course, oh, there's nothing to that. You've seen the Redskins lose Geis as well as a wide receiver. You've seen the Carolina Panthers lose 2 offensive linemen and a defensive tackle. And now you hear about Big Ben. Big Ben's in the protocol, concussion protocol right now, because he got hit in practice, went down, laid on the field there for a while. Football is precious. We still got 3 preseason games to get through. And you have to worry about the team's health. Thus far, we have been in great shape. And I hope that continues. I pray that that continues. We've had a few little scares here and there with, Kevon Frazier and with Jeff Heath yesterday. Jeff Heath, minor ankle sprain, should be okay. But we know we're kind of thin in a certain spot, and I've talked about a guy we can go get. Mike Fisher's talked about a guy we can go get. Believes still it's a 51% chance of us getting him. But whether or not we get him, we're going to have to play with the guys we have on the team. There's so much negativity about our Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not just talking about the talking heads out there that are always negative on them. I'm talking about from our own fans. And when I was at E2 Blue's house, we kind of talked about this. Imagine if you were the Cleveland Browns. The football gods really must hate the Cleveland Browns, because think about this. The Cleveland Browns were the Cleveland Browns and couldn't win, or much less make the playoffs. And they leave to go to Baltimore and become the Ravens. And then they turn around and they win 2 Super Bowls. So technically, when you look at it, the Cleveland Browns won 2 Super Bowls. Oh, but they're no longer the Cleveland Browns because they got a new franchise, Cleveland Browns, which took up right where the old one left off. Those Cleveland Browns have had 1 victory in 2 years. And we got the nerve to complain about 9-7. Yeah. So, One of the things that a lot of you guys complain about with Dak Prescott is his deep balls. We don't throw enough deep balls. Well, the Cowboys have been working on that. They're definitely going to try and put that more in the repertoire. And I think, personally, of course, use this for entertainment purposes only. I'm not guaranteed. But I think having the change of wide receivers, faster guys, will get open more than what Dez did. And I'm not, every time I mention Dez Bryant, people think I am throwing shade at Dez. I am not throwing shade on Dez. But we are looking at Dez in totality. Dez was never a guy that got free that often. Let's be honest. Dez was fantastic for out-muscling people, but generally speaking, a lot of Dez's best catches were always with somebody around him. But you saw what Michael Gallup did in that first preseason game. Even though a lot of you say, oh, it was just the defender got caught in the sunlight. Okay. I think you're going to have guys that are going to be able to kick it into another gear and get some separation, and will be able to go out and get the ball. That's my hope. But I also look at this team with a healthy Zeke Elliott, who nobody really reported this much yesterday because they only put out the negative. Zeke Elliott stayed there until it got dark, signing autographs for kids on the field, laying on his back, signing hats after hats. But we, of course, heard that, oh, Zeke Elliott was only signing stuff that was his merchandise and yada, yada, yada. But we know how that is. We know being a Dallas Cowboys. But I believe that this offense is really getting together. It's preseason. You're going to have ups and downs. And, of course, they're going to micromanage every single play. But I feel like when this team gets on the field, with the new faces, with the youth, with the speed, they're going to come out and they're going to surprise a lot of people. The defense, there's some holes. The Cowboys may be interested in trading for a defensive tackle, a number one technique guy. You know, position I've been talking about, we know I've been talking about all off season, because I believe that every good defense starts in the middle. But even if we don't, we have guys that I think can do pretty well. Maybe not elite, but can do pretty well. And with the rotation of guys that we have in there, I think we're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on them. What was a weakness last year, being our linebackers, because Sean Lee was hurt, Jalen Smith was on one leg, and it was just find some more bodies to get in. You start looking at our linebackers, and they could possibly be elite. We all know when Sean Lee's healthy what he can do. We know Jalen Smith last year on one leg knew where he needed to be, just couldn't go there with force. Now he's got a leg that is night and day different from where it was. You put that together with a Sean Lee and now a Joe Thomas, who's actually looking pretty good. You got depth now. And you have a rookie in Van Der Esch who paired with Sean Lee, where you can basically tell him, you go there. Don't get him out there reading and having to make the calls yet. He's too young. But I think you get him out there where he's going to know his assignments, he's going to be really good. We'll see what happens come September 9th and as the season goes on. But I feel good about the team. Now, Bleacher Report came out with their weekly preseason poll. And as I go through it, they have us dropping back a point from where we were last week to 15, which I'm okay. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool. I would rather them downplay us than overrate us. So here's the teams they have in front of us. And here's the thing that I think is kind of funny about their polls. Basically what they do is they take the teams that were all good the year before and they say, okay, they're going to be good this year. they don't take into consideration that half of those teams are going to fail. And I've said this before you guys over and over again. If you look at last year's poll this time, it basically had all the playoff teams, had the Cowboys, the Giants, Green Bay Packers, Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks as the top NFC teams. Rams weren't in the top 10. The Eagles weren't in the top 10. The Minnesota Vikings weren't in the top 10. Why? Because they clearly just take who did what last year. And that's basically how this whole poll goes. Because, interestingly enough, they have the Eagles at number 1, because, of course, they won the Super Bowl. They have the Rams, who I think are way overrated. I think you're going to see the Rams come way back down to earth. I may be wrong, but I think it could. Then they have the Vikings at 3, the Saints, the Pats, Pittsburgh's Falcons, Jacksonville, and Packers. Now, as far as I can tell, the Packers are the first team they have that weren't in the playoffs. And then the Chargers were sniffing the playoffs. And Tennessee was in the playoffs, Kansas City was in the playoffs, Panthers were in the playoffs. And then they have the Texans ahead of our Cowboys. So, from my standpoint, there's very little creativity there. And like I said, it's what they're picking out. And I guess it's hard to go ahead and say, well, this team is going to turn around and jump up. Because if you had said that last year at this time, that the Philadelphia Eagles were going to be a top 10 team, they would have laughed at you. But that, in fact, is what generally happens. I'm going to hold on to this preseason poll, and we'll compare it as the season goes on. But I want to know, where do you guys rank your Cowboys? And while I'm at it, since we have so many Eagle fans that are here, where do you Eagle fans honestly rank your team? I'll give you my spot tomorrow morning on Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys. But I'm feeling pretty good about my team. Joe Boo, up your butt. I love being out here with Mother Nature. Can't wait to watch the football game. I'm Mark Holmes with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And I'll see you guys first thing in the morning. Gotta love it.